All right, welcome to another episode of Only Pools Podcast. Unfortunately, today is going to be another PSA, um, little public service announcement. We have Hurricane Milton heading directly for Tampa Bay. We just got done reeling from Hurricane 11.
Yeah.
It's been pretty devastating over here, so this is probably the last thing we need. It is Monday?
Yep.
What's the day?
Monday the 7th.
7th. We're not going to put air out our regular Friday, so we'll let this go out later today. Just want to go over a few hurricane tips again. One, if you haven't already, put your stuff back.
Yeah.
For those of you that even have stuff left to put back, make sure that everything's brought into the house. Don't throw your stuff in the bottom of your pool.
Mm-mm.
So that's going to cause staining to the bottom of the pool. Your anything metal will rust because of the chlorine in the water, or salt if it's a salt pool. Do not drain your pools. Last week we had started draining and cleaning up pools, and unfortunately we're going to have to probably do those again. But we have two pools right now that the plugs were pulled on that we had left because we were going to still drain them, and now I got to send them back so we can refill the pools because they're half empty, and with the storm surge that we're expecting, it'll overwhelm the plug.
Yep.
And it'll rise quicker than that plug can let the water in the pool to equalize. So we're going to have to, actually he's out there now diving the pools to get the plugs put in, and we're going to refill them.
Goodness.
That'll keep those from popping. But do not drain your pools. Let the water overflow. Remember, it's not the pool water that's getting into your house. It's going to be the rain and surge water. Before the storm, make sure you shut your breakers off before it even starts raining. All the shutting your breaker off is going to do is keep, when the power comes back on, if you lose power, it's going to keep the surge from burning out your pumps. But understand that if salt water gets into your pump, it's probably going to be ruined.
No.
There's a 99% chance that it will not run again.
Would you suggest anybody who has the knowledge to pull their pump?
If they feel comfortable doing that, that's fine.
There is thick gauge conduit coming out of there full of wires.
Make sure your breakers and stuff are off. If you're knowledgeable enough in electricity, then yes, go ahead. If you are not experiencing electricity, do not just leave it. It's only a pump.
Yeah.
Hopefully your insurance will cover it anyway, because we literally just put $18,000 worth of equipment into one person's home because of the last storm surge, it ruined all this stuff.
And
now we're out. We actually have them going out now to pull the stuff we put in, because the only thing we can't pull is the heater.
Yeah.
So hopefully he doesn't get the same surge, but we're pulling his pumps at least because they were about $2,000 a piece. He had 4 of them.
Oh.
So yeah. But then everybody else we put on hold. AquaServ pool service in general will be closed until at least Friday before we're back at service again. Storm's supposed to hit here on Wednesday. Figure Thursday for everybody to get their thoughts and everything together, and then Friday we'll be back out. We'll start doing checking accounts and seeing where they're at, and
sort of a recon.
Yep, and see what's needed. AquaServ as a whole, we're probably going to turn into a recovery business as far as flipping pools back over, draining them, acid washing them, repairing and replacing equipment as we can get it. There is a shortage already of being able to get pumps and salt cells and automation and that kind of thing. So, but we will work our hardest to, try and get that equipment and stuff in. Another tip, just make sure that you're not going out there in the middle of the storm to shut off your pumps.
Please don't. No.
Just let them go. It's not worth your life. We did see some people that have lost their lives doing that in the past storms. Getting electrocuted. So you don't need to be anywhere near water, especially standing in water and touching an electric breaker.
Seen a lot of destruction out there, and
yeah, it's been bad. I mean, this past week we've been driving around Madeira Beach and Treasure Island and St. Pete Beach, and just everybody's personal belongings to the road.
Yeah.
Which now those things will become projectiles in this storm. So we're praying for those people and their families. Fortunately, I guess bright side is not much more can happen to their house.
Right.
Other than if the wind is strong enough, the roof will blow off, and then they get their wind mitigation insurance, which they didn't get on this last one because it was all surge. So I know I've had a couple of customers have been hoping that happens. But in all seriousness, we want you all to be safe out there. Evacuate if you're in an evacuation zone and told to evacuate. Take these storms seriously. We will be. I'm not in an evacuation zone. The office isn't either. So we're leaving our office open to our staff if they need to use it for them and their families. And the rest of you, just be safe out there.
Please be safe.
This is the one time I'm going to say I don't want you to keep swimming because
yeah, please.
Means you got flood water. So, but everybody out there, take care and God bless.
You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. You ever go swimming, man? It's so much fun. Now we got a podcast joining everyone, talking about pools, the stories we share, from backyard splashing to Olympic fair. We got chlorine, pH, and filter tips. Keep your pool fresh, avoiding no slips. With hosts so cool and guests so neat. We're dropping pool knowledge that it can't be beat. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. Dive into discussions, no topics too small. From kiddie pools to water parks, we cover it all. We got pool parties and cannonballs too. If it's about water, we talking to you. Interviews with experts and stories to share. From poolside barbecues to water care. We got tips and tricks to keep your pool right. Listen in the morning or at the late night. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. O is for only, the best place to be. P is for pools, come dive in with me. P is for podcast, we talking weekly. Only Pools Podcast, the one and only. Grab your goggles and your floaties too. Tune in to our show, we got stuff for you. Poolside chats to aquatic news. Only Pools Podcast, you can't refuse. We teach you how to clean, how to keep it clear. The best pool stories that you'll ever hear. From summer fun to maintenance prep. Only Pools Podcast, we're your best bet. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. Only Pools Podcast.